Well, hello everyone. It's Kevin here. Today, I want to talk to you guys about classic rock. And specifically, I want to get into my picks for the top 10 classic rock dance songs that I play as a DJ. So some of these are going to take us back in time to when there was a lot of popularity in rock and people would certainly want to dance to these songs. And I think there's definitely been some resurgence of rock into events that I play. So I want to highlight some of these classic hits, and I try not to go back too far, so we're not going back to like Chubby Checker rock and roll days, like the really vintage rock, if you will. And I also didn't go too far, too close in time, so I'm not looking at the rock hits of the late 80s and 90s, etc. But you will see here that I've got a good collection of hits that will make any crowd super happy if they like classic rock, and really anybody likes most of these jams. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so here we have our top classic rock dance songs that are just my picks, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I built the playlist already. I'm just going to kind of reveal it one song at a time, and we'll talk about each track. So first up is, I hope you guys like this one, Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. And you guys all know this one, I'm sure. I mean, what a hit, right? I mean, everybody loves this song. It's a great sing-along song, too. It's also a great one to play at the end of a night if you're at a wedding or a party and you want to close things with on a high note. It's just a great classic rock jam that would definitely get people out and get people tapping their feet or get people bopping along. So Don't Stop Believin' by Journey is first on the list here. Next, I've got a little bit of Bob Seger. So you guys, I picked this one, Old Time Rock and Roll, which is a classic. Everybody knows and loves this song. It's a good multi-generational song too. Like if you play at an event, you're going to have the old folks that like it, the young folks that like it, and it's just a good jam, and everybody kind of knows it. Just a second of this. A little bit of Bob Seger, and I'm sure you guys know that one from 1979, in fact. So it's a little aged, but that definitely fits into the classic rock category. Next up on the list, I have Queen, We Will Rock You. And this one, there were several songs from Queen I could have picked. You know, I figured that this one is probably one that, and I've got a bit of a remix here. It's not really a remix, but a different arrangement. It's a short version, and it's got an intro, so it helps me mix a little intro edit. It helps me mix it with other songs a little better. This song, We Will Rock You, is one of those that you just can't help but stomp your feet and clap your hands to the beat, and I'm sure you guys know this one. It's just got a lot of energy, a lot of attitude, a lot of good vibes when this comes out. It's kind of a sports song too. It's kind of a sports vibe to it, of course. And it's just a great jam. So anyway, Queen, We Will Rock You is also on my list here. Next up on my classic rock picks is Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Now this one definitely is Southern rock entry here on the list, and this one from the 70s, definitely a jam that everybody loves. I think it just goes together with really any event. If you had an outdoor barbecue or a picnic, or if you're doing something at the pool or on a boat, or if you were having obviously a wedding or a party. I think this song goes in so many places. It's just a feel-good hit. Everybody knows the words, and it's just nice, a nice jam. So classic rock, top 10 for me for sure on the dance list here. Next up, we've got the Beatles, and how could you do a classic rock list without somehow bringing in the Beatles? Now, they are a little aged at this point, and this jam's from 1963, but you think about the Beatles, and they just have so many hits. So I had to pick one for the list because I knew they're always, they always show up. If I know my couple at a wedding, or if I know the party host or the event coordinator likes classic rock, or if I know there are people in the audience or in the event group that like classic rock, I'm going to drop the Beatles at some point. Okay. So It might not be this song, but here's just a little taste of Twist and Shout if you don't know it. I'm sure you know it. Anyway, great jam, and it's another one of those like multi-generational songs that a lot of people like, and they kind of get into it. Okay, next up on our list is You Give Love a Bad Name by Bon Jovi. Now, some people might say, well, Bon Jovi isn't really classic rock, but I think that they're getting into that sort of as as everybody gets older and as time moves on. Bon Jovi fits into that classic rock for me anyway, and this one is a great jam. This has got a lot of attitude and a lot of fun. It's a fun song, you know, and you break this out at a bar or a party or a wedding or whatever. And I know obviously it's maybe a little anti-marriage or anti-love a little bit, but it's still fun. Everybody will love it and everybody will rock out to it. So that Bon Jovi's You Give Love a Bad Name belongs on my top 10 list here of classic rock dance songs. Next up, Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones. Now, when you talk about classic rock, I mean, the Stones are really, they belong on the list if you think about all their hits. They're just like the Beatles, where they have a large collection of hits throughout the years. Now, this one's a little newer. I picked this one because it's one of my favorites and one of the songs that I think really applies well to the theme of dancing classic rock songs. So this is Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones. A lot of good energy to this song, and yeah, I like it a lot. Okay, next up on the list is Led Zeppelin, Rock and Roll. Now, Led Zeppelin, I wouldn't call them a band that puts out a lot of dance music, but all of their songs, you think about all the rich history of music that they put out and the groundbreaking type of rock that they did, and just the melodies and the skills. They have so many great songs, and I definitely think some of them are good for dancing scenarios, or if you have a group that likes classic rock, this one you can drop and people will go nuts. This is Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin. All right, so you guys hopefully know that one. Great jam. There's a lot from them. Next up I have here, I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett. And I think this song is just a good, lot of attitude, a lot of power to it. And Joan Jett's a really cool artist if you don't know her. But and has lots of hits. But this one would definitely make it onto my list here. And really, this song is one of those that I think, maybe wouldn't be on like everybody's classic top 10 classic rock hits for dance songs, but I think it really rocks out and it will definitely get people involved. So, and it's got a good message too. So, all right, so we got that guy. Next up is Jump by Van Halen. Like, I can't imagine a top 10 classic rock list without Van Halen. Now, some people might say, well, Van Halen's more of a, some people would even call them a hair band, or some people might call them, just a rock band. But I think that they've kind of aged a little bit and they're in the classic rock zone, and they're such a great band, a lot of energy. And I just figured, I think Jump is one of those songs that just embodies a lot of their, the metal rock that they bring, but also has a lot of pop appeal and a lot of energy. So it's like, one of those songs that everybody can get into. So here's Jump. And this one, I again, really hard to pick when you think about some of these bands have so many great hits. It's hard to pick my favorite, but again, wanted to pick classic rock songs that would be appropriate for the dance floor, that would bring people out and get people toe tapping and maybe bopping a little bit. All right, so that's my top 10 list of songs that are in this genre of classic rock that I feel like are appropriate for the dance floor. Now, like I always do, it was really hard to do this list, so I made a couple honorable mentions. So I'll just pop these three up here on the screen. I got three of them, and they are Thunderstruck by AC/DC, Jessie's Girl by Rick Springfield, and Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams. Now, some folks might say, well, Bryan Adams, is he really strong classic rock? And Rick Springfield, he might be more pop rock, and, even AC/DC, I think AC/DC is a pretty strong classic rock band. But you think about, do they fit? Maybe. And maybe these songs don't really fit the classic sense of a rock dance song. But I'm telling you what, these three songs are in the rock genre. And if you play any of these three, you're going to get people excited, especially, if you've got a crowd that's a little older, or, has an age range, like a wedding or something where you have people across different generations. Everybody likes Jessie's Girl. Everybody likes Summer of '69, and Thunderstruck is just a jam. And I think that the Thunderstruck especially would be appealing to your millennials all the way back to, baby boomers. It's going to have that cross-generational appeal. So there you go, guys. My top 10 picks for classic rock songs that are good for the dance floor, and three little bonuses, I guess you could call it, or honorable mentions. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.